I forgot this part of the message last week. So I'm going to begin with the part I forgot. And then we're going to get to the readings because it dovetails nicely. One of the things that they have found, I think I mentioned this last week, that when we do the Thanksgiving exercise, that is really our focus this fall, that our level of contentment or peace actually goes up. You measure it before the exercise and you measure it afterwards, that our sense of satisfaction, our sense of how we call it living in Christ is magnified. So it actually has an effect on our sense of well-being. One of the things they've also found, and I think some of us may know this intuitively, but this is really hard stuff to hear, that 50% of our sense of satisfaction in life is genetic. Some people are just naturally a bit more ebullient than other folks. It's 50%. 50% is basically genetic. Now, our sense of satisfaction or contentment or peace is also affected by our circumstances. Does anyone want to take a guess as to how much of our sense of satisfaction or peace is determined by our circumstances? Laura.
34%.
34%. Holy Laura. 10%. The rest of our sense of peace or satisfaction or contentment in life is 40%, and that's all about our attitude. 50% genetic. 10% circumstances, 40% our attitude. Now my suggestion to you is that most of us think about our sense of place in life, satisfaction, contentment, or peace, as being 90% what? Circumstances. 90% circumstances. I have poison ivy really badly, so I'm going to stand over here. And so I have poison ivy, I itch. It's miserable. I'm going to be stuck with this for at least 2 or 3 weeks. It makes me impatient. It's not fair that I have the poison ivy. I am always impatient because of it. I have no understanding for other people because I'm constantly itching. I want to scratch it. I just want to get rid of it. My circumstances in life are terrible and I feel terrible. Don't tell me it's my attitude because my circumstances are determining that I'm in a bad mood perpetually because of this poison ivy keeps me up at night that wakes me up in the middle of the night. I am completely miserable. Or, I have poison ivy. I want to live in Christ. I heard this week someone say that the Thanksgiving exercise is a time for us to remember the good things that happen to us during the day. Poison ivy is not good. I can assure you of that. But I want to live in Christ. I have the poison ivy because I took a chance. I got on the lawnmower and I mowed the lawn and I did not wear my rubber suit that goes from my toes up to my chest. I did not wear my rain jacket, which is waterproof. I did not wear my winter hat, which protects my ears and my eyes. I did not wear my goggles because I basically mow poison ivy fields. I wore a short sleeve shirt because I figured the poison ivy was dried out. And I was in a hurry. So I had the poison ivy because the leaves blew up in the dust, landed on my arms. I learned a lesson. I need to be disciplined. I cannot take chances. I need to take my time. I need to be really more careful when I have dinner. That is a lesson that carries over to the rest of my life as well. I need to be much more careful. If I'm more careful riding a bike, I may end up living a little longer. I can actually give thanks to the poison ivy because of what I've learned from it. Turning to God in the midst of it, I have wisdom, inspired by God's Spirit, as to how I might future. I'm not going to take that chance. So there's poison ivy, that's the circumstance. But I'm going to use my 40%, folks. I'm using that 40%. And I'm going to have an attitude toward it, which enables me to ask, what have I learned from this? What can I take away from God's wisdom from this? How can I benefit from this? So I have a choice. I can either be miserable and dig that hole of misery, or I can use my 40% and be in a place of seeking contentment. I can either be left up to my own devices, or I can ask God to take me to a different place. I was talking to Diane before service today, and Diane said something that really offended me, and it hurt my feelings. And I'm really angry about it because it really just hurt my feelings. And when I'm going to go home this afternoon, and Marcia's going to say, what did Diane say to me? And I'm going to go, Diane, and Marcia's going to say, Diane, and we're going to watch the football game, and the advertisement's going to come on, and then I'm going to say, I can't believe Diane said that. And Marcia's going to say, I'm that Diane. And I'm going to go to bed at nighttime, and I'm going to be thinking about what? Diane is going to be part with her camper in my brain, and I'm going to become a slave to Diane, who holds me captive, because that's all I think about, and I'm digging that hole of misery, digging that hole of misery. And if I think about Diane all day tomorrow, and all day afterwards, Diane is not going to be living in the camper in my brain anymore. Diane is going to be hauling the cement trucks to build a foundation for a mansion that lives in my brain. And I'm going to be all about Diane, because that's all I will think about is Diane. And then I'm going to talk to them. You know what Diane said to me? And the wind's going to say, you know what Diane said to you? I don't believe it. And it's going to be all about that. And if I have this kind of tendency, there's going to be a village of people and homes in my brain. And I'm going to become toxic to myself. I'll become toxic to myself. My misery is all because of God. It's all about Diane and circumstance. I have an option. I can use my 40%. And I can say, I want to live in Christ. I don't want to be captive to Diane. I don't want to be captive to the burden of the anger. I just don't want to do that. I want to get peace. And what is the way that Jesus gives us to use our 40% that we might be at peace? What is the way? You tell me.
Well, in all circumstances.
And if I be with Diane, personally, just Jesus, Diane, it didn't happen, but it just needs to be an example. So if Diane's hurt me, so what's my way out of that so that I can be free? Forgive. Yeah.
Or you can realize you told them the truth.
What do you mean told the truth? That's not true at all. She's just doing these mean things to me. It hurts my feelings. I can forgive Diane. I'll forgive Diane for my sake. When I forgive Diane, I'm basically saying, hey, Diane, go back in your camper. There aren't going to be any cement foundations in my head. And then get in your camper. And when I forgive her, I'm basically saying to her, take your camper back to the RV park, because you're not going to be parking in my brain. So when I forgive her, who is set free? I'm set free. That's the antidote to that toxicity. I'm set free. As a matter of fact, I may be so set free that I can actually be cordial to her, and if I'm in a good mood, I can actually be friendly. I'm not going to go out to lunch with her, but we get along. Because I don't want to carry that and let it eat at me. Survival sense of contentment, peace, whatever. I'm using my 40%. For myself. And I'm going to live at peace. Diane's not going to keep me up at night. There will be no more. No. I'm going to let that go and forgive. And I do it for myself. Because otherwise it eats it. And it eats it. And it eats it. And every time I get together with my wife, it's like, and I talk to Nancy. Nancy says to me, "Oh, what do you think about Diane?" "Well, let me tell you." And it just continues, it just builds and builds and builds. And it's like digging that hole of misery. I'm going to tell you right now, it's the circumstances of my life. If it wasn't for Diane, I would just be very happy. No. No, it doesn't work that way. Circumstances, I'm affected by it, that's the 10%. But I can use that 40%, 40% that I have. I can change my attitude. Even in negative circumstances, I can say, what have I learned from this negative circumstance? And someone has hurt my feelings. What can I do so that just doesn't eat away at me? I'm going to honor the fact that my feelings have been hurt, honor the fact that, yeah, I'm upset about it, but I don't want to live that way, because that's not peace. That's not content. I just don't want to live that way. Life is too short to live that way. How does God instruct me, call me, so that I can get out of that hole and be at this other place in Christ? And that path, in this case, is to forgive. So that I'm at peace. So that I can sleep. So, recognizing the first reading today, Moses has all the excuses in the world not to listen to what God has called him to do. We need to forgive Diane. I'm not going to forgive her. Are you kidding me? Why should I forgive her? I can come up with all the excuses in the world. And that's why the interchange today between Jesus and this man at the pool is razor sharp. Jesus, boy, Jesus just confronts us with the truth. Because Jesus asks this invalid, he says to him, "Do you want to be healed?" He's been sitting there for 38 years. Jesus just cuts to the core really quickly. He says to him, "Do you want to be healed?" The implication is maybe you like being the object of other people's sympathy. Maybe you like lying here. Maybe you prefer to receive alms from people. Maybe, John, you just like complaining about your poison ivy. Maybe, John, you like complaining about Diane. Maybe you like that now. Whoa. That is deep. That is deep. Do you want to be healed, John? Well, then do the work. Use your 40%, brother. Use your 40%. Do you want to sit there and itch all day and complain about it? And expect your wife to wait on you? But you never expect at any other time in your marriage except when you're not feeling well. Do you want? Is that what you want? I don't want that. I want to be well. I want to be at that other place. Do you want to be upset with Diane all the time? No, I don't want to live with that. No, I want to be in this other place. And so that question that Jesus asks to the invalid is a question that just pierces us. Just pierces us. Ooh. Do we want? So the passage from my natural instincts, and we're all the same. We all go through this. I mean, it's not Diane, it's somebody else. We all go through this. We all do at various levels. I've just used two very trivial examples. We all go through this. Can I use my 40% to do the work to get to this other place? That's what the Thanksgiving book is all about. I want to look at my life through those lenses, those Christ-centered lenses. Do the work of forgiveness to be free. Do the work of looking for the good, even when the lousy things happen. So ask, what do I gain from this? What do I learn from it? And it puts me in a different place. You got 40% to work with. 40%. 40%. Use your 40. It'll put us in a better place. Thank you for your time.